Okay, obviously the story a year away, right? I mean, I guess valuable in some ways. I mean, you talked about what a grind it's been over the years, but I know also coming off a loss, you probably wanted to get back. So,
I did.
what has this year been like for you?
Oh, it's been a it's been a year of growth for sure. I think coming from an Olympic background, coming from judo where you have a tournament every week, you have at least one a month. So having to sit and kind of sit with the failure, see where I really fucked up, and have 10 months to grow from it has been really beneficial for me, both as a fighter and as a person.
How much have you revisited that fight? I mean, is it a fight that you watch over and over, or you live through, or is it like, let's
No.
just put that in the rear view?
I mean, I've watched it a couple times. It's not like I don't have PTSD or something. I've been through a lot worse in my life than a loss in a cage. So, but yeah, I know where I made mistakes. I know where I needed to grow, and it's been a valuable lesson for me, and one I'm looking forward to kind of putting in everyone else's rear view.
What did you feel the biggest opportunity was? Was it tactics or mentality or?
I mean, I think that my team. I can't look back and blame anyone but myself. Like my team prepared properly. I have the greatest coaches. I have the best teammates. I have a great facility. I properly prepared. I didn't leave any stone unturned. I think it was just, number one, I think it was her night. I think she had a stellar night. I think that she wanted it, and she went out and got it. And I think that in that fight, it wasn't like she was killing me on the feet, but I still shot for a takedown, shot for a takedown, shot for a takedown. And I didn't need to do that. I forced the grappling when I didn't need to force it, just because I was like, that's what I have to do. That's what I have to do. And I'm not a grappler. I'm an MMA fighter. So I think that that's an area where I've really gotten comfortable and forced myself for the last 10 months to stand up and bang on sparring days. I'm not forcing the takedowns anymore. I'm comfortable on my feet, and if that's where the fight stays, if the opportunity is there, I'm gonna blast double somebody. But I forced it, and that, I think fight optics play a big role in how judges score a fight, and it didn't look good. So I made a lot of mistakes, and the goal is to not make that many mistakes next time.
Is that when you say next time? Is that a fight that has to happen again, or?
I'm focused on Julia Budd. I'm not thinking about what's after that. I know that the questions are about to come, so I'm not thinking about anything but Julia Budd, November 24th. But I would never say no to a rematch. It's not something where I stay up at night and I have to have it, but I would never say no.
Focused on Julia Budd. What do you think of her as an athlete? Obviously, she's been there with some great fighters.
Stellar, yeah. She's a great opponent, worthy opponent. Former Bellator champ. She's been around the game a lot longer than me. She's had a lot more fights than me. She knows what she's doing. So I'm focused on her and preparing for the very best version of her on November 24th.
And how about featherweight? Is it? I guess we don't. I guess we still got a little bit.
I had to hide the pipes from y'all. I didn't want to scare you. Whoops. Yeah, no, it's going good. I hired a nutritionist. I got a chef. I'm approaching this in a very professional manner. I've been pretty adamant that I don't believe in weight cutting, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it healthy. I'm going to set an example to my children, to myself, to future fighters. So the weight's coming off. It's slow. It's steady. Still got 6 weeks, but I actually feel great. Nutrition is something that I've always, not struggled with, but just not put a major focus on. I'm so disciplined in the gym, and I'm so disciplined in every area of my life that if I come home and I want to eat a brownie, I eat a brownie. That's just always how it's been for me. And it's also been a very big lesson in self-care for me. I didn't realize how terribly I treated my body, in the sense that it'd be 9 o'clock at night and I'm eating my kids' leftovers, like scarfing it down because I haven't eaten all day. And then, sparring 5 rounds with Pantoja and expecting me to perform at my absolute best. And so to have proper fuel, to have a team around me who's got it nailed down to a science. Like, I have such mental clarity and focus and energy, and I feel great. My body feels great. My inflammation has gone down, my joints, my aches. So I'm like, why didn't I do this I'm such an idiot. Ugh. But I feel good now. That's all that matters.
I know there'll be plenty of questions about the future. Like you said, the last thing I want to ask, what does this fight represent to you, right? I mean, you're still going to be one of the biggest stars on the show. There's no question. It's still the PFL championship card. You're not fighting for a championship. But what does this mean to you? Like, what do you need to accomplish, or, what does this represent for you?
I mean, I think it's just important to get back in the saddle. I think that this is a lesson for anyone who's been knocked down in life. It's not about, how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. And I'm not a quitter. I never have been. My grandfather, used to say to me as a kid, quitters never win and winners never quit. And I'm nowhere near done with this sport. It might feel like it's done with me, but I say when I'm done, and I'm not done yet. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunity to get to do what I love again. I'm grateful to step back in the cage and hopefully let my talent shine and go out there and kill for the love of killing.
Kayla, you've always been an inspiration to women, but how important has this time been to kind of show women how it's okay to lose and how to rebound from a loss and how to handle a loss?
I mean, I think it's been important for me. Like, of course I want to be an inspiration to women, but it's been important for me to learn how to love myself. And I think I think humans struggle with that. Let's not just categorize women. I think that men struggle with that as well. But, like, it's okay to take care of yourself. It's okay to put yourself first. It's okay to love yourself even when you lose, even when you fuck up, even when you aren't perfect. And that was something that I didn't know and didn't practice. I wasn't like, oh, I'm worthy of love even when I'm a hot mess. Like, no, I was like, I have to be perfect. I have to be a straight A student. I have to win all of the gold medals. I have to be the perfect mom. And then someone will love me. But, that's not real. Or that's not the truth that I've come to know. And choosing myself and learning to love myself no matter what has been the greatest lesson of my life. Like, you can't, you can't, first of all, you can't love anyone else until you love yourself, including your children. Like, it doesn't matter, a significant other, your parents, like, if you don't have love for yourself, then you can't give it away to anyone else. So getting still, getting quiet, facing my demons, and learning that no matter what, I'm okay and I like me as I am, changed my life.
And Kayla, Julia Budd is obviously a name that's very recognized in the world of MMA, and for a while, you must have heard of the critics, oh, she's not fighting anybody, this and that. What's the feeling to finally, or maybe not finally, but what's the feeling to?
I mean, I think everybody thinks Pacheco's pretty good now,
yeah,
so.
She's definitely pretty good, but you're getting a marquee name here, so that has history. So what's that feeling like to get like that type of opponent?
Yeah, I'm grateful. We were slated to fight before. She had an injury, so she wasn't able to make it to the fight. So I'm just grateful. I'm not in control of who I fight. Like, that's something that critics can say and trolls can talk about, but I'm not in control of that. I'm in control of my preparation. I'm in control of my attitude. I'm in control of, what I do to get into that cage. But I don't pick names. Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, I'll take her, but not her. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to fight someone of Julia Budd's caliber, and I'm excited. That's why I do this. I don't do it to talk to you guys, no offense. I do it because I want to test myself, and I want to test myself against the best and worthy opponents.
What would a win over her mean?
I mean, it's not really about her, no offense to Julia, but this is for me. I do this sport because I love it. I wake up every day with a passion and a desire in my heart to see how far I can go, to push myself. So I'm grateful that she's accepted the fight and going to step in the cage with me, and I need women Julia. I need women like Pacheco. I need women like she who must not be named to fight against. But it's about me.
And you just mentioned, the woman whom shouldn't be named. There's rumors
We've been
that-
listening to Harry Potter in the car on the way to school, so I'm like deep into.
There's rumors that PFL may acquire Bellator,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of talent. I would assume that would come over.
Yeah.
Meaning Chris Cyborg, the current champion over at Bellator.
Mm-hmm.
When you heard those rumors, is that something that excited you, thinking that fight can't come? to
I don't get
fruition?
excited about that anymore. There's been too many opportunities and too many highs and lows and ups and downs and bullshit that is, again, out of my control. So I stay the course. I focus on me. I focus on my kids. I focus on my training. But that's all noise, and it's all maybe coulda, shoulda, woulda, might happen in the future. So it's not my focus. It is what it is.
And this is your last fight with the PFL, at least in the current contract?
I am not going to speak about contractual things.
Gotcha. And if Chris Cyborg were to come over to PFL, is that a fight that you would like almost immediately? Like, is that like a fight that you would like to have dibs on, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, who better to welcome than I think, I'm not in a season. I'm not fighting for $1 million. Well, I'm not fighting for a title. So I would love that.
Yeah. And why didn't we see you in this season format, like in this year?
I just think that the PFL felt my time would be better used in a one-off format versus the season again. Again, out of my control.
Yeah.
I can't make them let me fight in the season. So it was good for me. I'm grateful. In the moment after the loss, I had talked all up previously to the finals that I was gonna take time off and and spend time with my kids. And then like the second I lost, I was like, "Get me in the season, Ollie, now!" Like I was one angry woman. So not with anyone else, just with myself. But thankfully, God had bigger plans and better plans for me, and He knew what He was doing. So I did not get to compete in the season, and that was what was meant to be.
Yeah. But were you no season? But were you expected to compete throughout the year in like one-offs during in these cards, or what was sort of?
I think that again, I'm not in control of it, but it is probably really difficult at this level and with the different promotions having all of the best girls, and it's hard. It's hard to find a fight. It's hard to get a fight that makes sense. So, again, I'm thankful for Julia Budd taking the fight, for the opportunity. I can't control all of that other stuff. I wanted to compete more than once this year, but I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to be going back into the cage.
And lastly, just I know you enjoyed that time off. Like it was very beneficial in many ways, as you mentioned. But moving forward, I'm guessing you do not want that to be the case. You want to be active.
Yeah, no, I love what I do. I'm one of the very lucky humans on earth who gets to punch people in the face for a living and get paid really well for it. So yeah, for sure, I want to stay active. I want to compete. I'm also 33, like, that's a hag, according to most people these days. I'm like the old lady in the gym now. Like all these young fighters are coming up trying to kill me. And so yeah, I want to make the most of my time while I'm still healthy and capable.
And I like one more. Amanda Nunes retired. That was a name that a lot of people were wondering, will Kayla ever fight her? I know you guys were training together. You know her very well. Just curious, your thoughts on her retirement and if you have spoken to her at all after her decision to walk away.
I mean, I'm happy for Amanda. I think that she's accomplished everything you can accomplish in the sport. It's bittersweet. I'm happy for her and I'm sad for me because that's something that I did want to see come to fruition. I think that my timing in MMA is kind of brutal. When I look back on my career, it's just I've been in the wrong places at the wrong time, winning gold medals when I should have been training here at American Top Team. So, but no, I'm super happy for her, and I think that, again, she's got a family, she's got a beautiful life, and I don't want my own success at the cost of somebody else's. We can all succeed, and we can all have our dreams, and we can all have our journeys in life, and she's on hers, and I'm on mine.
Kayla, just two questions. I was there for, I believe, your PFL debut in Chicago.
Mm-hmm,
I
yeah,
was there on the
yeah.
stage. Talk about the difference, because one of the things that really jumped out at me when I saw you come out of the cage was just like joy.
Yeah.
You were like smiling.
Yeah.
Huge. So talk about the joy of MMA from Kayla then to Kayla now.
Well, I mean, it's been a long road. This sport is brutal. This industry will chew you up and spit you out if you're not careful. And I think that I came in here very young, maybe not, just very naive. I was very sheltered during my Olympic career. The Pedros are some of the best coaches, but the best human beings I've ever met. And they took really good care of me, and they only wanted the best for me, and they protected me from kind of all the bullshit. Plus, there's no money in judo, there's no fame, there's no glory. Nobody cares except for you. So kind of learning the ropes of the business side of MMA took its toll on me for a little bit. And I think just the pace that I kept, 4 fights a year, back to back to back, over and over and over. Because in my head, it was like a judo circuit. Like you just go. But, it's really different to prepare for a fight than it is to prepare for a judo tournament. Like every fight is the Olympics. If I prepared for the Olympics every month when I did judo, I would have lasted 6 months. It's impossible. That level of intensity, that level of mental fortitude, that level of pressure, it's too much. So every fight is like that. Every fight matters. And I didn't make that adjustment when I came over to MMA. So I got a little bit burnt out. I got a little bit bitter. I got a little bit pissed off, angry. I had all these negative feelings and emotions swirling inside of me, and I had to let that shit go. I had to remember why I do the sport, and that's because I love it. I love martial arts. I love the beauty of it. I love the challenge of it. I love the honor, the respect, the discipline. This is why I do what I do. It's not for money. It's not for business. It's not for fame. It's not for titles. I love the essence of martial arts. That's who I am. That's who created me. Martial arts made me who I am. Judo made me who I am as a person. And so to let go of all that negativity and to just focus on the joy and the positive sides of it and the positive effect it's had on my life has brought back, the gratitude. And it's not I have to go to training. It's I get to go to training. It's not I have to talk to the media. It's people want to hear what I have to say. What an honor, what a blessing. That's an honor. And when you shift your mindset like that, life gets a lot better.
Yeah, last question. So you mentioned not there being a lot of money in judo, but there is a former judoka who went a different sort of route after MMA, went to WWE, right? I know you've probably been asked that question before. Is that something that you would ever consider on any level?
It's hard because Rhonda's always been my rabbit. She's always been anything she can do, I can do better. I have a Rhonda-sized chip on my shoulder. But I think with maturity and spiritual growth, I've gotten past that. I'll never say never because who knows what the future holds, and I love a challenge. I do love to perform. I am, a showboater and like to be the center of attention. That's just part of my personality. But it's not on the radar right now.
Yeah, so you get a call from Paul Levesque.
I don't even know who that is, but okay. Okay.
And he says, hey.
Triple H is what I call my coffee order at Starbucks.
And he says, I got a spot for you. All you got to do is come out and work this spot. We just need you to double egg.
Like, just lay the smack down on somebody, just
double,
like,
double egg somebody.
I mean, money talks, Triple H.
I love it. I love it.
Ain't nobody in the game got a better blast double than me, I'll tell you that.
You've spoken a lot before about, how you've learned how to treat your body better, right? What are some things that you've learned about treating your mind? Because I feel like that's an element of sports in general that doesn't really get discussed enough.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that question. Thank you. Well, for me, my faith is a huge integral part of my life. So, God has given me everything that I have. And putting my focus there first always, every morning I wake up and I pray and I meditate and I journal. Like, I have to wake up really early so that I can do it before the kids are like, Mom, Mom, Mom. But it changes my whole day. When you get quiet and you sit down and you get still and you spend time with your spirit, with your soul, with God, it changes your day. And it doesn't you don't just wake up and you're like this Mary Poppins jolly human being, but slowly over time you start to build those days. It's not one day, it's a week. It's not a week, it's 2 weeks. It's not 2 weeks, it's a month. It's 6 months. It's holy shit, for 10 months I have been disciplined enough to get down, to wake up every day, sit down and get quiet with myself and with God and, spend time taking care of myself, taking care of my mind, taking care of my body, taking care of my soul. And I also, it sounds silly, and maybe you guys don't have this problem, but, now I kind of do things for fun. That I know, I didn't do that before. I didn't have emus for fun. I didn't, water plants or, go have a girls' night. Occasionally I would, but most of the time I was so hyper-focused on being this perfect human being, being the perfect mom, coaching my kids soccer, taking them to every event, making sure every meal is nutritious, making sure I'm the best fighter I can possibly be. So focused on being perfect that I didn't stop and oh, you know what? I'd really like to go to a comedy show tonight, so I'm going to go to a fucking comedy show. I have all this money, and I'm just, sitting here being a robot. I was So anyways, I started talking to God, and I started having some fun, and it really changed my mental health, It's not rocket science. It's not anybody can do this, Anybody can get a gratitude journal. Anybody can wake up and write 3 things down that they're grateful for every day. And anybody can sit down and shoot up a quick prayer. You don't have to there's no right or wrong way to do this, taking care of yourself is a very personal thing, and faith is a very personal thing, and what you find joy in. Dude, I started doing paint by numbers. I'm 33 years old. I do paint by numbers now. What? But I like it. It's fun. It's relaxing. It's something I can do where I'm not overly exerting myself. So, yeah.
What is that?
Paint by number. It's when you're not an artist, but you pretend you are, and they tell you what to paint.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could try the Happy Color app.
Is that where you do it on your phone? Yeah. I probably should get that. Well, we're also, thank you. We're a super technology-free house, we don't, my kids and I watch a movie on Friday nights. I try not to be on my phone when they're home. My son is 5 years old. He doesn't even know how to use an iPad, which most 5-year-olds can Snapchat you, right? My daughter, sometimes we do Saturday morning cartoons and my daughter will get to play on her iPad, but we're outside. I bought 2 acres. We got emus, chickens, rabbits, quail, dogs. We have our own petting zoo, so we're outside. We got a vegetable garden. We got pumpkins, carrots, squash, cucumbers, like herb garden. Like, we're like really complicated plants. You know, we need sunlight, we need water, we need food, and we need connection. Like, I have an amazing group of people around me who love me and just want the best for me, and I also have that for them. So, like, all of those little simple ingredients make my life wonderful.
One more question for me too. I saw you did some commentary work with Game Bread.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk to us a little bit about that experience, and could you see yourself having a long-term future in commentary down the road?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously super green, and I have a lot of work to do. I'm very, very rough around the edges, and I would say unpolished, but which is perfect for Game Bread because he doesn't give a shit. But no, I do enjoy it. You know, if you're not going to fight, the second best seat in the house is that booth right there. And I do feel like I bring knowledge. I do feel like I bring experience, and I feel like I bring something to offer to the table. So I think it's mutually beneficial, and I enjoy it. I do. I enjoy it.
Kayla, over here.
Yeah.
A few minutes ago, you talked about being the center of attention, and 2024. I think for the last couple of years, fans have kind of seen you as the face of PFL,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you've kind of represented yourself that way. But 2024, we're expected to see Francis Ngannou make
Mm-hmm.
his PFL debut.
Yeah.
We could also see Jake Paul in 2024. Does that kind of pressure you, or maybe motivate you to say, "Hey, this is still my house"? And do you feel motivated to put on performances that lets the fans know, "Hey, I'm still here. I'm still the top name in PFL"?
I mean, I feel the desire to say I'm still here, but not because of Francis or Jake or, you know, whoever else gets signed. It's a pretty personal thing. Like, it's for me, you know, and no, I'm happy for Francis, you know, like, for one, like, the guy did it his way, you know. He bet on himself, and he won in a big way. And I want that for fighters. I want that for the future of MMA. I think that is the best thing that could happen in this sport, is someone, you know, finds their path, pursues it, and wins. Like, that's the name of the game. That's the goal for fighters. Like, promotions make a lot of money off of us, and it's very rare that you see someone who's able to stay true to themselves, who's able to be successful and make a shit ton of money. So I'm happy for him. I think that's amazing. And Jake Paul, I don't really like. I like what he says for fighters. He's also very pro-fighter. You know, I don't know him personally. I've never met him. I think that he trains hard. I think that he's talented. I think he's super green. But I like what he says about fighters, you know, having health insurance, having rights, I agree with all of that. I think that the landscape for MMA needs to change and be more pro-fighter. These are all things that I believe in. And I'm my own person. Like, my path is not connected to their path in any way. We all fight for the PFL. I want to see them be successful. I want to see the PFL be successful. And there's only one Kayla Harrison. So no matter what you do, no matter where you go, no matter where I go, like, there's only one me, and I'm comfortable with that, and I have peace knowing that, like, there'll never be another like me.
Historically, we've heard champions and fighters who were previously undefeated coming off a loss say, well, in a way, it's almost like a relief.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
So you didn't feel that at all? You maybe
Relief?
more pressure?
No. Heartbreak, yes. Agony, yes. Depression, yes. But relief? No.
I think in terms of, there was such a focus on, I'm undefeated, I'm a champion,
No.
this and that, no?
That's what I wanted. I mean, like, it's not pressure when it's what you ask for, in my opinion. You know, like, that was the goal. The goal was to be undeniably the best to ever do it. You know, that is the goal I set for myself. And I fumbled. I fucked up. I dropped the ball on the 1 yard line, you know, like this. And this is a part of life. This is a part of being human, you know, like, we all mess up. We all fail sometimes. Like, there's no perfect being on this earth. But I didn't feel relief about that. Like, I didn't feel like, oh, that's okay. Like, I feel like it happened for a reason. And maybe the comeback is going to be 10 times because I did fumble, you know. I think in MMA, people thought, like, again, like I was fighting cans, or like it was easy, or I made it, like, maybe this will make people realize, like, oh, she's human and she fucked up, and look at how she overcame it. Like, whatever. But I definitely didn't feel relief.
Was there any temptation to make kind of like an overhaul of your training or your mindset, or is it like, oh, you change everything, you
Yeah.
just need to focus on
Oh, yeah. No, I went down every rabbit hole imaginable. And when you have 10 months to sit with something, you explore all avenues. I was like, I'm moving to Montana. You know, like one day I was like, I'm going to be off grid. I'm going to be a homesteader. Like, no one will ever see me again. And then the next day I'd be like, I'm going to be the best to ever fucking do this thing. Like, no one's ever going to deny Kayla Harris. Like, I went all over the place. And, I mean, one thing that I definitely didn't do was question my coaching, question this place, question the preparation. You know, I pride myself on being the hardest worker in the room, and I pride myself on having the stacked team of coaches that I have and this amazing place. You know, so those things I didn't consider overhauling in any way, shape, or form. But me, like my whole life, my person, my choices, yeah, I spent every day, like, for a couple months thinking about, like, who I was, what the fuck was wrong with me, and trying to figure it out.
All right, guys, sorry, we gotta get the next guy in here. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.